Okay, so there's 5 major causes for cancer. The drivers, the instigators, what's really pushing this thing. And if you don't address the causes, I mean, it's just going to come back. You might get better, but it's like, I have a leak in my roof, I'm going to patch the walls and paint.
Yeah.
The next time it rains, there it is again. Well, I can patch and paint and patch and paint.
Yeah.
Fix the leak, then everything can work much better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through 5 leaks with a nod to Jerry Tennant, who's a medical doctor out of Texas.
Okay.
The one that we've talked about earlier today was dental. Dental is by far and away the biggest driver of cancer, without question. And these, it can be from a dental injury, it can be from, a bad tooth, it can be from improper dental care, improper dental work by a dentist.
Mm.
And
that's every cancer, like breast cancer.
Oh yeah,
cancer,
any
type of
cancer.
Cancer.
And I'm not saying that lightly. My father was a dentist, and as I said, and he wanted me to take his practice over. I'm very comfortable sitting at this distance to you. I'm not going to climb in your lap and stick my fingers in your mouth.
Yeah.
But dental is by far and away the biggest driver of cancer. If you have a dental problem, you don't fix it, it's not going to be a pretty end. For example, here's one that we haven't talked about. I had a woman out of Southern California come to see me, ovarian, and her husband wanted to bring her here, but she wanted to do clinical trials in Southern California. They stayed, and when they played out, we brought her over. And I told her in the first couple of days she had a dental problem, in my opinion. And she says, no, I can't, because I went to see Dr. So-and-so in Southern California, he's the big name, and he said I'm fine. And I said, I don't think so. I'd like for you to go see somebody here in town. And she agreed. So she was going down the hall holding on to her husband's forearm. He would steady her and walk her to the bathroom. And then wait for her and then walk her back down the hall back to the IV chair. So on Wednesday, she finished up here at the clinic at Day Spring and went to go see the dentist. And later I get a call from her husband Saturday afternoon that they went on a 4 to 5 hour hike at Frank Lloyd Wright's Taliesin West. How do you go from Wednesday morning to 2.5 days later, you're doing a 4 to 5 hour hike? Just, astounding.
Yeah.
What if the proper dental care, because she was seeing some big name holistic dentist in Southern California, but he did not diagnose and address the problem. So that's the big thing. How do you address and how do you treat a dental problem? It's a big...
Is extraction the main thing?
Not necessarily.
Getting rid of that root of the tooth? Is it?
Not necessarily. It could be. We've talked about, I had a woman that had 5 teeth extracted and she did phenomenally well.
Yeah.
We talked about the woman that had a crown popped off. She'd been coughing 10 to 15 years straight, day and night. Crown popped off and she stopped coughing.
The crown was poisoned.
It was the crown. Well, I wouldn't say poison. The crown was energetically deleterious. Okay. That's a very clean way to say it.
Yeah.
And I really don't know. I can't explain my cell phone. I can use it. I can't explain why that tooth was doing what it was doing, but you fix it correctly and the problems.
Because I've seen the charts of the teeth and how they
exactly
energetically match with certain organs of the body.
I had a woman come to see me out of California, not cancer, but she had Raynaud's. And she had a little finger wrapped up with white towel. And I asked her, I said at some point during the interview, well, what's with the thing? And she undid the wrapping and her finger was black. As black as your shirt. And I'm like, I hope the thing doesn't fall off in the clinic. Oh my goodness. So we went into teeth, and 2.5 years earlier, she had a root canal on number 19. It's 16, 7, no, it's number 18, sorry. Number 18 tooth. Had a root canal on it. And so that was 2.5 years ago. Well, when did the Raynaud's start, which is an autoimmune vascular disease? 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
You know, it could be concomitant. So, but I went up and showed her on the chart that 67, number 18 tooth sits on the arteries, and she has an arterial problem. So I told her, go back. A family member there in California was a dentist. I said, go back and have that tooth extracted.
Yeah.
So,
Teeth.
teeth, huge.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about toxins.
Yeah.
There's different types. There's heavy metals as a toxins. There's people out there spraying pesticides. And, there's Roundup, for example. There's a lot of different toxins. We always do a heavy metal test on patients. And I want to see before and after. We have,
And those are what created mutations within the body from like the Monsanto, like you said, Roundup.
right, because that's putting, for glycine, it's putting in a different molecule. So there's a little bit of Roundup or glyphosate to be specific. That looks like glycine. So the body's going and grabbing amino acids, making a chain, and it grabs this big, huge thing and puts it in.
There. Yeah.
But the protein is out of shape because instead of a little tight glycine, it's got this big blob.
Phosphate on
Or whatever it is that, you know, it's much larger, and therefore the active site, you know, there's your tertiary, quaternary sites, the way the thing is structured gets bent out of the way. So, and then heavy metals, they eat up a lot of the sulfur, your glutathione. So there's problems with that. Sometimes people come in, they're low thyroid, and it's not low thyroid, they're heavy metal toxic. So, so for toxins, that's number 2, and then we can go into thyroid. Typically conventional medicine runs TSH and T4. Neither TSH nor T4 have any physiologic function in the body. TSH is a signaling hormone, T4 is a storage hormone. So I like to run T3, free T3, reverse T3, and a total T3. But the free T3 is like measuring gas in the motor of a truck. If you're measuring TSH and T4, that's measuring cans of gas in the bed of the pickup truck. Now, you know, there's information there, but it's not going to make the motor go. The free T3 or the gas in the motor, that is what makes the motor go. And as just why T3 is so important, if your T3 is out of range low and your body temperature is lost 1 degree, not 98.6, but 97.6, you've lost 36% of your immune function. That's a third, that's a big number. So we talked about teeth, toxins, thyroid, or heavy metals, thyroid, and then we can do emotions. Emotions, that's such a big thing, emotions. And I really like to look at people's emotions. Now, I used to joke and tell people, I don't do emotions, and my wife would agree with me on that. You know, it's just a funny way to say, no, we're going to send you off. But then I went to a Lee Cowden seminar in Dallas, and somebody presented how to do emotions, and I knew how to do everything. Now I just do it. And it's very simple, very easy. But you know how to clean up hidden emotions, generational emotions, things that great grandpa dropped down on you. You know, things that they went through that are impacting the individual at that day and time. So you have to look at the things that are really driving the boat.
So what you're saying is negative or not happy or sad, emotional things within the body can cause or trigger some of these.
Right. So one way to talk about emotions is like an iceberg. You've got a little bit above water, that's what we see. You know, you seem to be a very happy-go-lucky person. That's a little bit above the water, and trust that, you know, everything underneath. So as I heard it described one time, is the conscious mind is like an ant going through a forest. It's going north as hard as it can go north. I mean, it's a fighting little ant going north. The only problem is on the back of a southbound elephant. So the ant is the conscious mind, the elephant is the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, emotions, if, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And it takes just a few minutes to clean it up.
Really?
Yeah.
It just, what's the technique? Is it,
It's using a magnet.
okay.
I follow Jerry Weber. Jerry Weber's out of Atlanta, maybe. He's a naturopathic doctor out of Atlanta. It's using a magnet, and you concentrate on 5 words while the magnet's being run.
Yeah.
You find the emotions, the problems, and then people think of love, peace, forgiveness. What are they? Gentleness and peace.
Mm-hmm.
And you concentrate on that and run the magnet, and it clears the emotions. I can't explain it no more than I can explain myself on it.
Yeah.
Darn it, it works.
Yeah. Amazing.
So you've really got to figure out, and there's certainly other things. I mean, we could talk about parasympathetic, sympathetic, because that's such a big thing. But you've got to get the leaks in the bucket fixed.
Yeah.